Yeah. So, any word on regard to with regard to Colin? Nothing. Okay.
May probieren.
Pabiron Bell, yeah. Before we start, maybe he thinks there's no classes or what. Glenda, did you log in via using the app after link?
Yeah.
It was easier.
Mm.
Anyway, did you do question one already? This one is very straightforward. It's grade 10 work.
Mm.
There's a fourth person. Let us see. Let us see. K. That's Colin. Then it's Natalia and Lucine.
Yes, sir.
Now we are going to hear Afrikaans just here. Yes, Colin. Colin. How are you, Colin? Colin, how are you?
Alright, man.
Oh, hallelujah. You're on board.
Yes.
Okay. Why are you taking so long? You had to be reminded.
It was busy.
Did you see? Did you hear that, Nizar?
Hmm.
Emang
Ito
now,
ni Justin ni.
want to the topic of still.
I'm from the Canlos.
Oh, Linda,
Yeah.
this one she
So it's my choice to
is your choice to do what?
stay muted.
I will disable that choice. I see you are playing around with the mute thing.
No, I just mute myself when I'm busy conversing or talking to myself.
Talking to yourself.
Yes.
You now, if that is not scary, I don't know what is scary anymore. Maybe you have a different way of doing this one. Um, obviously, uh, as long as you know how to complete the square. Also, you can also use. You remember this one here. What is this? What do
The
we use?
vertex.
This is the vertex.
Yeah, like the turning point of the y x value.
The x value. And what do you do then when you get so if you were to substitute into this one, you are going to get what?
B is what? 10 minus 5, 10 over 2. You get 5 over 2, no?
This is 5 over 2. You should get positive 5 over 2 or positive 2.5.
Yes.
Yes. So you can still use that. You have to work a bit smarter. But anyway, if you were to multiply out this expansion, you will have to do something. That is, you have to remove, because when you multiply out, you get the 25 over 4. So you have to remove 25 over 4. It's like you're removing a, that's what you are doing, right?
Yes.
Right now, before I do anything, before I bring back my 8, I will multiply this thing here by 2. So that becomes, multiplying by 2, that becomes 25 over 2.
So it's not 9 over 2.
It will come 9 if I bring back that minus 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
So
Or using a different method.
yeah, whatever method works for you. So I bring back that 8, and clearly you will see that negative 25 halves plus 8 gives you that negative 9 over 2. Is it not so?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you see what, when you guys were marking, when you guys were writing this, you did not answer the question completely. This part says you are supposed to state the minimum value.
Oh.
And you guys just stopped with the thing at vertex form. Even if you look at the TP is 5 halves, comma negative 9 over 2, which you are getting from this one here. Ne?
Mm.
But the minimum value of the graph, because remember the graph is going to be something like that. So the minimum value, the y value, that's what we are looking for, is nothing but negative 9 over 2. So you had to actually give that answer, not just leave it, because it's clearly saying to you, um, express that in that form where a, b, c are constants, and then they say use your answer to state the minimum value. So you simply writing a turning point, you are not giving the answer, the minimum value that is being required. And because of that, you are now losing 1 mark. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So it's very important that you guys must also listen and follow the instructions, because the instructions, they might seem trivial, but they mean a lot in that regard. So here, the moment you have things like no real roots, you are automatically thinking of the discriminant. No real roots, it means the discriminant will be equal to 0. So basically, you have to rewrite this in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. You can let it equal to 0 so that you can identify. Here is where some of you made the mistake. There's minus 10 minus k. So I'm not going to take out the minus because you can get confused. All right. Uh,
Yeah.
so that you can see that, okay, if I take positive, then it's um, I don't know, you're just ending making mistakes with signs. So you have negative 10 minus k
Yes.
x here plus 8. Here's the thing, the moment you choose the b square minus 4ac, that b is negative 10 minus k. Some of you wrote the minus outside and you wrote something plus in there. My point is, anything that is negative that is in brackets will always generate a positive answer. That's where I think one or two of you also made the mistake. And
Mm.
because of that, you end up losing marks. So basically, if you were to multiply out everything, you will be getting k squared plus 20k. So I'm skipping some steps, okay? And then you can say let that it, because of the inequality, you can say it should be below, but I'm just going to write equal to 0 for now, so that I can look at my critical values. And my critical values, because of this condition, it will be below the x-axis. So
Yes.
it will be below the x-axis. So once you calculate, you get k equals to negative 2, and or k equals to 18. No, not 18, but negative 18, I believe.
Yes.
Negative 18. Where negative 18 is obviously smaller and negative 2. Someone actually went and switched them around. Sorry, the negative 2 must come that side.
Yes.
And because of that, you lost the mark. But you know yourselves. So when the inequality is less than the solution is below, it all depends on what this value is. If this was a negative, then you still draw a graph like that, then it will still be below on this side. That's what this is implying. Below the x-axis. I think that is straightforward.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
This one was rather a mess. I always say avoid using or working with fractions, right? It's clear that you have to make something the subject of the formula. Why don't you make x the subject of the formula, so that you do not have to deal with making y? Someone tried to make y, and then you end up putting the square there, but if you get rid of the square, you're supposed to take square root, and it becomes messy.
Yeah.
So now you have y square equals to, so in the place of the x, you replace this x here by that which is 4y minus c. Then from this point onwards, you only add the 3. So now you clear this up because it becomes a quadratic, so it's y squared minus 4y, then becomes plus c minus 3 equals to 0. Are we together so far? Now, when they are told about something is a tangent to a curve, what does that imply? The discriminant is equal to 0. So that means b squared minus 4ac, which in this case is minus 4 squared. I don't have to put the minus, but I know the answer will be positive. Minus 4, a is 1. Sometimes we don't put the 1 if it's not necessary. And here you have c minus 3. Of course, this equals to 0. Now, that stuff, it will clean up nicely to 28 minus 4c, which equals to 0. And you should, and this one was poorly answered because most of you did not get this answer. I think only one person got this answer. The other guys have decided today they don't come to class. Sometimes you must put on the group if you cannot attain. So it was better making x the subject, then trying to make y the subject even, because then that 4 means you are dealing with a fraction. To come here, it's just messy. Even if you make x the subject, it's messy because you still have a square, which implies you have a lot more to do. But either way, if you are quite okay with the method, no problem. Colin, you are quiet. No Osher. But I can't hear. Nobody's hearing you. Are you still recording? Mm. I was worried as it's clear.
Yes, it's clear.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so now the coordinates of P, because the graph says this line and this curve. Yeah, so when it touch, so how do you find that? So now you use that that's 7. So you use the c equals to 7 in y square minus 4y. Now remember we had a minus c here in the thing. Yeah? Here y square minus 4y, so this is what? It's a plus. You follow? So I'll say plus 7 minus 3 equals to 0. This cleans up nicely to y square minus 4y plus 4 equals to 0. Are we together so far?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
so this is it not a bit too long to use this particular one? Because you need to realize there's a reason. If you have 2 marks, it means you must work a bit smarter. Remember, we have the value of c, we calculated it, but we have another equation here, right? We have now substituted into the y squared minus 4a plus c. Can we substitute into the other one?
Yes.
How will this one help us to find the solution? So if you were put, how will this other equation help us to find the value? Because this becomes quadratic, which means we have to solve the quadratic now. I wonder who's that one. It's Natalia. My God, she's 25 minutes late. Natalia? Natalia?
Yes, sir.
You are 25 minutes late.
Bye-bye,
Yeah, that's a very nice excuse. Because we are not there.
yeah, I was like, time.
You were trying. Okay. Guys, this is a repeated square. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
There's only going to be one value. So this is like half of -4 is -2. -2 squared is 4. So this is y minus 2 all squared equals to 0. That's why I only have one answer. It's a perfect square trinomial. Natalia, we are busy with question 2.
Yes.
So now we have the y value. So we can actually go ahead and find from this equation, we can find what is going to be our x value. The original equation, right? This one.
Yes.
So I did not use the y one because then again it involves me to square something. Okay. So using this, we know what y is 2, so that is 4 times 2 equals x plus 7. This implies that x should equal to 1.
Yes.
So the coordinate of P will be 1, 2. Yeah. But I'm leaving this for you to see if you could find that y value easy without using that. Because I wrote this here for a reason. You are supposed to use the c equals to 7. But I said now you substitute into the y squared minus 4y plus c the way it was there. Okay? If I was to use it in a different equation, what will it help me? If I was using it here, what will it help me with? I will have two unknowns. I will have two unknowns, yes?
Again,
Mm-hmm.
what is it?
X
Why
and
this
Y.
again?
X and Y.
Hmm?
X and Y, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let it marinate. Maybe you can tell me later. Oh, this one was poorly answered. Some people left this whole thing blank.
Yeah, that was me.
Unbelievable. What is the issue with Lucine? But what is there that you don't understand? A sector of a circle of radius r has the area equals to a. What is the area formula? What is the area formula? Area of a sector. Is this one most, right?
Pi r square theta. I come up pi r square.
Yeah, where is pi coming
R
from?
square theta.
So,
R square theta.
okay, so from here, what is it I'm going to do? What is it that I'm going to do? Remember, they are saying a sector of a circle has a radius r. So, let's suppose I draw something like that. Nah? So, let's say this is the sector altogether. So, that's radius r, that's radius r. So, somewhere in my working, to find the perimeter, I will say r plus r. But I need to add something else because you have to find this, right? What is that part called?
Length of arc.
The arc length. And how do you calculate the arc
Yes.
length? You calculate it using that formula.
R theta.
So I must add plus that, right?
Yes.
But there's a problem. I don't have the angle here.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to do something here in order for me to find that angle. You write everything in terms of theta. So everything goes. If you make theta the subject of the formula. Are you following or should I go slow?
Okay.
I made theta the subject of the formula. Let me just rewrite and then you can follow, okay?
Yes.
So it's going to be r squared theta over 2. That's what this business means. Is equal to a. The objective is to get theta alone because I need to substitute that angle here because I don't have it there. You follow? They didn't say this angle is theta. So to do that,
Yes, sir.
I have to make theta the subject of the formula. That 2 multiply making that 2a. That r squared needs to be divided making that. So this will be replacing, it will be replacing my theta. You follow? So that is what you needed to do there.
Oh.
Okay, very simple. But are we done? Is there still something we can do? Is there still something we can do here? This r and that one. If you have a number 8, something like 8 squared, what happens here?
There
This,
will just be one R.
there will be one 8. It's not so. So p
Yeah.
equals to 2r plus that one cancel 2a over. That's it. That's all that you needed to do there.
Hey.
I saw cosine stuff there. I was worried. Suffice to say, none of you got that. Maybe you can score a mark here from this obvious thing, the area of a sector.
Sure.
Yeah, it's tricky. Should we go to the next one?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Coordinate geometry. What was your value of h?
Cannot get that one.
Oh. Okay. What we have, the diagram showed that trapezium. You can see the coordinates. BC and AD are parallel, as you can see. We know, what can we talk about parallel lines? What can you tell me? What is the property there that they have?
Yeah.
They're what?
I didn't know.
Hmm?
The gradient equals the
The gradients are equal.
well,
Yes.
What can you tell
Inverse.
me about perpendicular lines though?
the gradient
So the product
Is
of
the
them,
inverse.
the product of the gradients will give you what?
is said -1.
Okay, so we can calculate the gradient of AB. You agree? Because we have complete points.
Yes.
That's x, that's y, that's x, that's y, right? So the gradient
Yes,
of
sir.
this one, I can say 2 take away 0 is 2. 0 take away 4, it will be -4. You can try. 2 take away 0 over 0 take away 4. That's what it's going to give you, which is nothing but -1/2. So if the gradient of this one here is equal to -1/2, then the gradient of this one here will equal to what? The opposite of that.
Two.
Is it not so?
Yes,
Because
sir.
the gradient of AB multiplied by the gradient of BC should be -1. We follow?
Yes, sir.
And the gradient of AB is -1/2 multiplied by the gradient of BC, which will give you -1. If you were to solve this, you will see that the gradient of BC is nothing but 2. We still have 9 minutes, so we'll take it into different segments. Okay? Right. Now that we know that, remember our objective is to find the value of h. Right? We are also told one interesting fact, and it's this one. The CD is parallel to the x-axis. Very important that you take note of that. So if that is parallel, then whatever this point D is, right, it's going to be same as point 3H. But I am going to use these 2 points here. I'm going to use point C, which is H, 3H, and point B, which is 0, 2. And I'm going to calculate their gradients, and I'm going to let that gradient equal to 2. You follow what I do there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me show you what the concept is. I'm just going to try to write it here so the diagram is nearby. So I'm going to say the gradient, I'm going to say 3h, maybe I must use a different color, maybe it helps. 3h minus 2, subtracting the y values from each other, right? Then h minus 0. H minus 0 is just going to be h. And I will let it equal to 2, which is that gradient there.
Yes.
So from here, I can actually calculate my value of h. So I'll just keep it so that you can see it. So I have got, let me just rewrite it, 3h minus 2 over h is equal to 2. Clear? So that
Yes.
implies 3h minus 2 is equal to 2h if I cross multiply. Then
Yes.
h will be equal to 2.
Yes.
That's all. That's all that you had to do in that particular one. Now there's a second one. Should I go on? Natalia,
Sure.
what happened to Lucine?
Yes, so
What happened to Lucine?
I don't know, sir.
Okay. So there's a
I think
second.
she's off.
She's?
I think she's offline.
Yeah, she is offline. She's offline. Let me do something. Let me say I want to take a snapshot. Okay. I want to bring it here. Where is insert? I got it. Let's go insert image from clipboard. Okay. I just want to bring it back, né? Are you amazed?
Very amazing. No.
My goodness. Okay. Okay. So we want the coordinates of D. So what do we know? We know that H is 2 from our previous work. And this will be, so our coordinates of C is 2, 6. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And because of that, the y value is 6, then this one will have the same y value. So in a nutshell, you have something x, but you have a 6 here.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
So if I use the point, I don't know what this one is, right? Suppose I just write x here. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So I know that the gradient, so just check. If I take point D and A, let's forget about point C, okay? Point C was just for me to show, you this concept of the 6. But let's take point A. Point A being 4, 0, point D being x, 6. We know that the gradient of AD will equal to 2, same gradient there, because they are parallel. So I'll use the same concept. I will be saying, okay, wait a minute, take the two y values, subtract. So I'll say, let's take 6 minus 0 over x minus 4. Take the two y values. You could have started with that one. It doesn't matter. And I will let that equal to 2. So eventually, this gives me 6 over x minus 4 equals to 2. Go ahead and put that in bracket. So we're running a little bit out of space, but you should arrive that x is equal to 7. Okay? In fact, that is not our final answer. What they are asking us to do is they are saying we must find the coordinates of D. So now the coordinates of D will be 7, comma 7, comma 7, comma 6. And that's the answer we're looking for there. I can see people are quiet because you know what you did. It wasn't so easy.
So,
I can hear somebody whispering. Must I go back to the other one? Must go to question 5.
You can continue.
Okay, I'm looking at the time, so all I have to is 2 minutes. Okay, you see that? That's the thing with Zoom. And we have to thank Natalia for coming in late. So we're going to start with question 5 shortly. So what I'll do is I'll share